Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov and Shavua Tov. Today is the third day of Tammuz, which is the Yartzeit, the 31st Yartzeit anniversary of the passing of the Lubavitch Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, of blessed memory. And I invite everyone tonight at 7 p.m. at Palm Beach Synagogue to join us for a special dinner and tribute to the Rebbe. Parshas, the Torah portion for this week is Chukat, which always coincides with the Rebbe's Yartzeit. And I find it fascinating that this is the Torah portion that talks about the passing of the three first greatest leaders of the Jewish nation. Three siblings, Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. Miriam and Aaron pass away in this week's Torah portion, and Moses is told that he is going to pass away in this week's Torah portion. But yet, here we are 3,000 years later, and all of us recognize that Moses, Aaron, and Miriam are very much alive. We still learn the Torah of Moses every day that he received from God. The descendants of Aaron, the high priest, still continue to bless the Jewish nation, just like their ancestor Aaron did. And Miriam, all the Jewish women around the world, continue to go in the footsteps of the great Miriam, who inspired Jewish women for all generations to be Jewish mothers and Jewish leaders. This week's Torah portion is called Chukat. The word Chukat has a dual meaning. It means commandments, but it also means to engrave. And what we see here is that amongst the Jewish people, we don't just commemorate anniversaries of passing as someone who passed away, but we recognize that their DNA, their biological, spiritual DNA, is engraved, embedded in our very souls. We all have a piece of Moses inside of us. We all have a piece of Aaron and Miriam inside of us, a spark of their soul. And so they live on with us till this very day. You know, in the secular world, when someone passes away, they build a monument, a statue. Or maybe when a great president passes away, they build a presidential library. And people go to the presidential library and learn about this great leader and their accomplishments and their messages. But it's something in the past. By the Jewish people, a Yartzeit, especially of a great leader, is not about their past, but it's about their present and their future. Here we are 31 years after the Rebbe passed away, but the Rebbe didn't leave a legacy. The Rebbe left a mission statement. The Rebbe left marching orders for all future generations. And our Yartzeit is not a day to just commemorate the past, but it's a day to connect with the Rebbe today through his soul and recommit ourselves to his mission statement, to his marching orders. And everyone knows what the Rebbe's marching orders were: to reach out to every single Jew with love and draw them closer to Judaism, one good deed, one mitzvah at a time. And not just to the Jewish world, but the Rebbe took responsibility not just for the Jewish people globally, but for all of mankind. The Rebbe often talked about our mission to teach the 7 Noahide laws of morality, of ethics, of goodness and kindness to all of mankind. And that's what today is all about, connecting to the Rebbe's message and his mission, which is very much alive today, 31 years later. And what was the Rebbe's message? As Rabbi Jonathan Sachs said, most leaders want to create followers, but the Rebbe was a leader who wanted to create leaders. The Rebbe's message was that every person is a leader. Every Jew is a leader. The Rebbe's message was, we're counting on you to do your part. It's your responsibility to be a leader. And a leader doesn't mean that you have to be a leader on the global stage or on a communal stage. You have to be a rabbi or a teacher, as the Rebbe sent thousands of his emissaries to every corner of the world, to every Jewish campus, to every community worldwide, to be leaders and to teach Torah and to open schools and to open synagogues and mikvaot and create community engagement for Judaism. But the Rebbe said, every time you teach Torah to one Jew, every time you inspire one person, every time you get one person to do a mitzvah, to bring them to the synagogue or to a Torah class, you have become a leader to that person. You have led another person, another Jew, closer to God, to Torah, to Judaism. And everyone can be a leader. And there's so many stories to share about the Rebbe. But one of my favorite ones is that, in 1986, as the Rebbe's reputation and his leadership grew worldwide, and there were too many people who wanted to see the Rebbe, that there wasn't enough hours in the day to meet with people individually. So in 1986, the Rebbe started a tradition. Every Sunday after the morning services ended, about 11 a.m., the Rebbe would come out of his office, stand at a table in the lobby next to his office, and anyone who wanted could come get a blessing and advice from the Rebbe. And the Rebbe would always conclude by giving you a $1 bill and saying blessing and success in your life. And the message was, take this dollar and give it to charity, because as the Rebbe said, if two Jews meet, something positive has to rebound for a third person, so give this money to charity. And the Rebbe would give out thousands of dollars and blessings every day, and anyone could get a line, no appointment required. That regardless, men, women, children, everyone. And the line started in 1986. And the Rebbe did this till 1992. The last time he did it was February 27, 1992. It was a Sunday. And he started giving dollars at 11 a.m. And he stood till 7:30 p.m. Thousands of people around the block would line up all day to come get a blessing and advice. And the Rebbe would spend sometimes a few seconds, sometimes a minute, sometimes a few minutes, based on what your question was and what your advice is, or if you just wanted a dollar and the words blessing and success. And the Rebbe stood on his feet. He refused to sit. He refused to stop for a lunch break or for a drink of water. And when a woman once asked him, how do you do it all day? I've been waiting online for a few hours and I'm exhausted, and you do this all day. The Rebbe smiled and said, when you count diamonds, you don't get tired. Unfortunately, the very next day, the Rebbe went to the grave of his father-in-law to pray, as he would often do. The Rebbe never took a vacation from 1950 till 1992, when he had his stroke. The next day, praying at the grave of his father-in-law, his predecessor. And that was the last time the Rebbe gave out dollars on a Sunday. But there's so many stories that happen on those lines for dollars. And one of my favorite stories is that an elderly woman came and she started to tell the Rebbe about all her problems, asking the Rebbe for blessings. And she kept on repeating herself over, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And so the Rebbe's secretary, who stood by his side all the time, Rabbi Groner, gave her a motion like, okay, move on, it's time. There are thousands of people waiting behind you. You're holding up the line. You told the Rebbe, he gave you a blessing. Why are you repeating yourself? That's what Rabbi Groner implied to the woman. The Rebbe took note of what Rabbi Groner did. And when the day was over, they came back into the office to end the day. And the Rebbe asked Rabbi Groner, what happened with that woman? And Rabbi Groner, who was a devoted chassid of the Rebbe, said, well, the Rebbe's on his feet. Thousands of people are waiting. The woman explained her situation once, twice, 3 times. By the 4th time, I encouraged her to move on in the line. The Rebbe looked at Rabbi Groner and said, when a person comes to me and tells me their problem, sie nimmt herab a Stein vom Herzen, which means they remove a stone from their heart. And every time they repeat their problem, they remove another stone from their heart. The Rebbe looked at Rabbi Groner and said, if a woman needs to remove stones from her heart, let her take the time. Let her remove as many stones as she can from her heart. Don't urge her to move on. And this was the Rebbe's message. Being a leader doesn't mean you have to transform the world. Just listening to another person, hearing their challenges, even before you guide them, even before you help them, you've already been a leader. And this is something that everyone can do. Let us join tonight at Palm Beach Synagogue. Our past president, Michael Scharf, who had a very close relationship with the Rebbe, will talk about my Rebbe, my mentor. We have a special movie with 4 incredible stories of the Rebbe. And we also have a gift for everyone who comes, a copy of the book, The Rebbe's Army, talks about the Rebbe's emissaries around the world. Join us tonight, not just to pay tribute and to honor the Rebbe's memory or legacy, but to recommit ourselves to the Rebbe's mission and marching orders for each and every one of us. Have a meaningful, inspiring, and uplifting day.